All right, so I'm just gonna try to do this in one take because I've been putting this off for a very long time and I kind of just want to make something. So I use Linux. Right now, I'm using Ubuntu. There are other distros that I've used in the past that I've really liked. Ubuntu being the easiest and most simple to use, and that's kind of like just what I'm going for right now. Clear Linux is pretty much just as easy to use, but like it's not as widely supported as Ubuntu, so like you might occasionally run into issues with this. And then Arch Linux is just like if you're trying to have fun, like modding your OS or whatever. It can be extremely nice at times, and then it can be an extreme headache at other times. So like as far as operating systems go, if you don't have a MacBook, I recommend Ubuntu. Pretty cool operating system. It just works. I mean, there are a bunch of corporations that use it because, I mean, it's just not even a comparison to Windows 11. Like, this is just way better. Even if you game, like, as long as you're not trying to play, like, only AAA titles, and even if you are playing AAA titles, a lot of them have really good support through Proton. So, I don't know. For me, it's no contest. Like, Windows 11's fucking garbage. So, take that as you will. These are the pieces of software that I use. So like Raw Therapy was probably the first editor that I used. When I was shooting digital, I mean, this was kind of just necessary because when I first started taking photos, I would take like hundreds, thousands of photos per event, and like I'll show you later, but like this is by far the best batch editor that I've ever used. It has a really good built-in viewer, so like you can quickly scroll through RAWs and then like inspect them and see like, okay, this one's a focus, this one isn't. I'm gonna rate this one 2 stars. I'm gonna rate this one 3 stars. You can also like group them by color or whatever. And yeah, this is just a great editor to get started with because like it's fairly intuitive. You have these tabs here, like one is for kind of like exposure, adjustments, tone curves, whatever. I think this one's the color tab. This one might be the filter tab, and then like there's these other ones that honestly I don't really touch those ones except for this one. It has like crop and resize, which is important for like sizing for Instagram or like cropping the image because you purposefully took it a little bit more zoomed out so you could then adjust the composition in post. Um, yeah, that's raw therapy. GIMP is essentially like Photoshop. This is more like graphic design focused. I would not recommend using this for batch editing because it fucking blows. Like I I use GIMP for like maybe doing a batch of like 3 to 5 images at once. Like that is manageable. But I don't like having to do more than that because it just doesn't have the same workflow as raw therapy. So seemingly it's not built for batch editing. Maybe I'm like missing something, but I would never use this for batch editing. This is more so for like I'm going to spend 5 hours editing a single photo versus I'm going to spend 30 minutes just quickly slapping tone curves on stuff and like get it posted. Um, and then this is the video editor that I use, Kden Live. It works. I mean, it's not the greatest video editor. I'm pretty sure that DaVinci's better, but like I just use this. So, um let's take a look at these, shall we? Hopefully it doesn't take 20 fucking years. I'm running this on a pretty modest system. I could probably pull up the specs actually, just so you guys are aware of kind of what I'm working with here. So it's an 8th gen i7, and like I think this is I don't even think this is the best SKU. I think this is like a couple models below the best SKU, but like it's just a generic like mobile i7 and it's 8th gen. We're on like I think the 15th gen or some shit like that. So this could be better. This laptop works. I mean, you can get these for like around, I would say maybe the $300 price point now. Um, and like as you can see on my webcam, like it's a two-in-one tablet. I'm not going to pull it apart right now because it'll completely break OBS, but like you can pull the tablet off and then the base has its own battery and graphics card in it. So like you can buy a cheaper Surface Book 2 and then down the line switch out the base for something that has a better NVIDIA graphics card in it. I think that the two options you get are either the 1050 or the 1060. And then I think there's also a keyboard base that just doesn't have a graphics card in it. It might have a um, bigger battery, but I'm not certain on that. Um, I've just only ever used the 1051. I've had ones without the graphics card as well. I mean, it works fine. Intel makes okay integrated graphics, and like even if you're running 8th gen, like it'll be okay. So back to raw therapy. Yeah, I mean, it's very slow right now because I'm trying to record and do this at the same time. Expect it to be more snappy, like significantly faster than what you're seeing right now because this laptop is not good for encoding webcam footage and also a screen and like slapping that all into a fairly high resolution file. So take this as you will, but basically like this is how I would go about kind of checking RAWs. And I know that these aren't RAWs. Unfortunately, I don't fucking shoot digital anymore, so this is what you guys get. But basically, took these in 2019, I believe, like towards the beginning of the year, or maybe it was the beginning of summer. But like you can go through these, you can inspect them, like you have that window on the side, and it basically just lets you like see, oh, okay, this GT, or I think that might be an SLS actually. This SLS is like what's kind of in focus here, and then like the rest of these cars are all like they were panning through the exposure kind of thing. Like maybe this Audi is like a little bit more in focus than the other ones, right? And then like you come over here and like you can see if you're shooting burst, like you can quickly go through and like obviously I wasn't shooting single drive when I was at this event. I was shooting on high plus and I came home with like thousands of photos. So like when I go to choose these out, like I'll quickly scroll through them and see like, okay, this one is the best one. I'm gonna give this one like a 5-star rating or whatever. For some reason, I never go higher than 3. I don't know why, but that's how I do it. And so like, yeah, you can see like this one's pretty okay, you know, like, and obviously your images are probably never going to be seen at like the size that I am looking at on my monitor. So like having them be a little bit soft is really not an issue. So yeah, this is the inspector. Like this is how this was the ideal piece of software that I used years ago, and I was like, this is it. Like, I really like the way that this works. It's really snappy, and like I'm able to do everything that I want to do with this when I was shooting digital. So let's switch over to the editor tab, and then like, I don't know if is it loading? Can't tell. I'll just pull up the fucking Corvette, because I don't think it's actually loading anything right now. Hopefully, okay. All right. So one thing to keep in mind about this is that the window that you're previewing your image in is not, it's not going to look like what it's going to be once you export it. So like if things look a little soft or like pixelated or whatever, it's weird. Like don't worry about it too much because you can zoom in and then it'll be closer to like the 1-to-1 ratio, or you can also just do this. So like 1-to-1 will match the monitor to the photo, and then like this is what it should look like once you export it. But obviously you probably want to see the full photo while you're editing, so I usually edit like this. I'm usually not in 100%. But like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to use, fairly intuitive, right? I mean, it has shortcuts. Like if you have, it'll automatically fit the image to the frame that you have available. Um, and I mean, like I said earlier, like this is pretty self-explanatory. I think that I shouldn't have to make a guide on how to use tone curves and whatnot because it's already been done significantly better by many other people. I think that maybe in the future I would go ahead and make more in-depth tutorials on GIMP, but for now I just kind of wanted to get this out there and like show you what I use for doing my work. Um, yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it. I mean, I can show you the other tabs. Like here you have like sharpening, local contrast. Local contrast is a cool one because it's kind of like sharpening, but not really. Um, it's a very interesting tool, and like I use it fairly often, and I don't see many other people talking about local contrast in the other editors, so maybe this is special to this. I have no clue. But like I very much enjoy playing around with local contrast, like on pretty much all of the images that I edit. Noise reduction is great. I can't show you on this one obviously, but like if you're shooting raw, there's going to be like chromatic aberration and like other random fucking purple pixels in your image. This will basically make it so that like a solid color is a solid color and there aren't like random splotches of purple or like hues that don't exist in the thing that you photographed. So that's pretty cool. Defringe is all right. Haze removal is great too. And then I believe this is the color tab. This is kind of where I like will do the heavier edits. So like if we look back at this one, um, obviously when I say heavier, I just mean like fucking around with the color. Like I use the channel mixer to like make it more ice creamy, I believe. I don't have like normally there's history here and you can look through what you've done, but like it doesn't save that perpetually. If you do snapshots, it will. Like if you save a snapshot and you say like this is the original raw, this was like 1 hour in, this was like 2 hours in or whatever, you can do that. Like I generally don't because I don't know. I usually don't come back to re-edit things that I am currently working on. I usually come back to photos to just redo them all over again from scratch. So take it as you will. You have the ability to do snapshots. I would recommend it like if you're just starting out, maybe it's a good habit to get into. So that you can see like, okay, this is where I was like 1 hour in, and then like 2 hours in, you're like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. So like you go back to the number one snapshot, and like maybe you close the application in between like you finishing the second snapshot and you being like, wait a minute, this is terrible. So getting back to this, Channel Mixer made it a little bit more ice creamy. I mean, if I turn this off, you'll see like it completely changes the image. And I'm not going to try to explain what these sliders mean. I kind of just have an intuition where I'm like, okay, I want to just remove red from the image where there is other colors. Because like if you actually, no, this one's a bad example. I probably have a better one somewhere else, but like sometimes I'm able to keep some colors the same. I mean, maybe I could do that here, honestly. Let's just take a quick look at this. If I reduce Yeah, okay. So like if I were to do it with these sliders, basically I'm not touching the reds. The reds are staying the same. I'm removing green and blue from the other colors though. And because there isn't much green and blue in this red, it's not going to change how that looks all that much. And I mean, really what you want to be doing is you want to be reducing the green and blue because if you increase it, you're going to be overexposing the whites. So or my bad. You don't want to be increasing the green and blue in the red, I believe, or maybe it would be just the green and blue. It's complicated. I can't really explain this that well. I just kind of know how to get the results I'm looking for. So take it as you will. Film Mixer is cool. And then HSV equalizer is like fucking amazing. It allows you to like apply a tone curve, but like for color, not necessarily for exposure. And so like if I for some reason don't like the red in this and like I want to change the red, and also I don't know if this is just me, but like I I always have so much trouble like adjusting these points and I have no clue why. Um like if I grab this, right? Okay, that time it wasn't too bad. Like sometimes I'll be trying to move it like in both axes and like it just refuses to do so. And like both of those times I was just trying to delete those two, so like now we'll see, is this going to, okay, it is going to work the way I want to. So this will basically change the hue of whatever channel you're in. So like right now we're in the reds, and so I'm changing the red to a different color. And like this is cool because like if you want to make the image look uncanny, like this is how you make it look uncanny. Because like now the red is like a barf color, and like I can take the blue and I can fucking push it to, what would that be? I don't even know off the top of my head. We'll see in a second, hopefully. It says ready, so maybe that wasn't enough. Or maybe I should be adjusting this one. Yeah, this is the one I should be adjusting. So again, like this is pretty much fully intuition. I don't really, I couldn't explain the science behind this or like how the code works. I just kind of, you know, play with the sliders, and like now we have a green and orange tannish image or whatever, right? And like I don't know, it's just it's pretty cool. I mean, I could keep the red and then I could make the rest of the car green. Like in this you could make sure that you're not touching the rest of the car. Like you could mask off the car and then have this fucking, this green is honestly fucking crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. I love that green. So like yeah, I mean, this is just a cool way to play with the color. And then the rest of this here, like you get crop, and like that's pretty self-explanatory. If I want like a 4:5 crop to put on Instagram, I could set it to 4:5, a portrait, turn it on. Now I have my crop at the full height of the image, and then I could like fucking hold shift and drag this over. And again, like this is not how slow this normally runs. This is because this laptop cannot handle recording or streaming really. Um, yeah, I mean that's raw therapy. I feel like I've gone over kind of the process of it. We can try GIMP next, but like I don't really want to get into it because the reason why I've been putting this off is because like I don't want my editing process to be distracted by trying to explain what I'm doing, because like I barely know what I'm fucking doing half the time when I'm using GIMP. The reason why it takes me hours to edit is because like I'm trying to figure out like how do I reach the vision in my head with the tools that I have available to me. And like GIMP is a great tool. It's just like I have not been used. I started using it more heavily this year because I found out that like because I do film now and because I only shoot like fucking single digits of images per car or per event or whatever. Like, I mean, the shoot that I did with the 3 Euro cars recently, like that was 14 images total. And like a lot of those images were of people. Like they were more like event photos than like car photos. And so, like, I look at it now and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I took 7 images and like I used all 7 images. Like compared to when I was shooting a digital camera, I probably would have taken like hundreds of photos of that day. But like I'm just a lot more focused about how I do things now, and so it makes it a lot easier for the editing part because like I'm not sifting through images. Like I have the images that I took and either they're good or they're not. So like, and most of the time, you know, they're good enough for Instagram. Maybe not good enough for a print, but at least good enough for Instagram. So we could we could try opening something here. So like if I go to just hoping that I don't fucking open up something that I shouldn't. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, this is the problem, right? Is that like I'll be so locked in like while I'm editing, but then like when I'm trying to make a video out of it, it's like fucking it's just me rambling the whole time. So I believe 22 is the scan that I sent to a bunch of nope, it's not 22, but we're just gonna roll with it. So this was bespoke forged, I believe. He makes wheels. I think if I open up the 23rd scan, then we'll see side of the car. I made a reel on this recently. I'm like kind of interested in maybe doing like visualizers for music or whatever. I don't know. It was just an interesting idea that I had. But yeah, so like um this is GIMP, right? So like Control Shift J, it's a little bit different than raw therapy. You have different kind of layouts here, like your tools are all in the top left, and like they're not at all like the tools that you're using in raw therapy. Like if you go, most of the time I spend is in the colors tab, so like hue and chroma, levels, curves, invert, like map, and I would like to go through all these things, but like this video is gonna be like fucking hours long if I go through everything. So like I'll show you like the bare basics. Like I go to an image, I adjust like the input level of the blacks and the whites so that like it uses more of the capable range of like your display, right? So if I preview this, we're gonna see that the contrast will just be improved. And it's gonna be super fucking slow. You know what? Actually, no, fuck this. I'm gonna scale this down. This is probably gonna take a while too, and I'll just yap while it's happening. But like, uh, yeah, I think 1080 should be fine. This is gonna take a while, but basically, GIMP is kind of the perfect tool for film photography. Like, if you're super picky about your composition and you only pull the shutter release for like just only a few images, like this is kind of the perfect editor for you because like this is very good at like focusing on like one thing at a time versus raw therapy where like you have all these different tabs and like all these different things in the UI. I feel like this UI, it's maybe a little bit crustier, but like it just feels more focused. Um, I'm gonna just delete this one so that I can quickly put canvas to layers and then Control Shift J again to change the size to fit the monitor. And you can also do that from here. 100% would obviously be 1-to-1. So like right now I'm viewing this as if it is like full screen on my monitor. You might want to start editing like this because I mean I don't give a shit anymore, but like I used to be or I tried to be like very particular about like how things looked on my Asus ProArt monitor. But like nowadays, I mean, I just fucking eyeball it and then I'm like, all right, good, let's go. I don't really fuck around with color profiles too much or like being hyper specific about how they're going to look on like phone displays and whatnot. I look at the monitor, I think it looks cool, I post it. Like there's not much thought that goes into this, but I'm gonna make this file in such a way that um, it could be useful to explain Caden Live after this because like the visualizer that I did, it's not difficult. Like it took me a while because like I was thinking about different things and like I was kind of sitting there most of the time, but it doesn't take long. So like I'm gonna just invert this, right? And now we have the same image, but like the color or the exposure, I guess, is inverted because like this is a negative essentially. Um, and what that means is that like the whites are now black and the blacks are now white. And so like you can see inside the wheel arch here, like it's super, super bright. And then if we look back at the original, like it's super, super dark. So I mean pretty self-explanatory, right? And if you blend these together, I think that like if I go to 50%, it should be pretty close to like just a very like neutral color. I need to figure out how to set up the curve in such a way that when you have 50% opacity, like they just cancel each other out. Because inverting is not enough. Inverting it just takes the whole histogram and like flips it. But like to be able to make it so that when like you put the images over each other, they perfectly cancel each other out, you're trying to just invert the values of the histogram, not necessarily the histogram altogether. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me, so I'm gonna say it. But yeah, like you invert it, and then like you have these two images, and like I could go more into adding color. You know what? Well, let's just add some color. So like I'm gonna make layer groups, and I'm gonna put these two in there, and then I'll add another layer that's called color on both of these, right? So, and we can actually, I can show you another tool, honestly. This one's pretty useful as well. I'm gonna show you guys Adobe Color. Um, Fairly useful, and like, yeah, I mean, I don't like Adobe, but like, it is what it is. I This is free. And like I don't mind telling other people about this because like they're not going to be paying for it, A, and then B, like I don't know what data like they could really make of people using their color. Like I don't mind Adobe collecting my information on like what colors I've produced in their app. What I care about is them taking my fucking photos. Like I don't like the idea of that. And that's the vibe that they gave off like when they changed their privacy policy. So like I can't agree with any of their software suite, but like this website is pretty cool. And there's also another one that's like specifically meant for contrast. I can show that at a later date though. I'm not trying to make this video like super fucking lengthy. So if we go to HSB, I believe that we're gonna see hue, saturation, and then black, I guess. I was gonna say balance, but I normally don't use HSB. I usually use LCH, but like unless I'm cooked, I don't think that's an option on this website. So HSB is like the closest thing to that. You have your hue, which is like a slider through the rainbow sort of thing. And then you have your saturation, then you have your blacks, and like the closer you get to 100 is like the least black it'll possibly be. LCH is different in the sense that like it's lightness, um, chroma, and then hue. And so, and I'm not a PhD, so like I'm not gonna be able to explain to you what all these fucking terms mean, but like LCH makes the most sense to me because lightness is very simple. It's black to white. And then like chroma is very simple in my mind because it's like how much of this color are we pushing? It's like it's very similar to saturation, but I don't think it's precisely the same as saturation. So don't confuse the two. And then hue, I mean, is hue. It's the fucking rainbow. Like you choose a fucking wavelength. You know what I mean? So like I like LCH because it makes sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to you. You can use whatever you want, but that's just what I do. So like we're gonna pick an ice cream color because like that's just what I fucking do, right? Like I just love ice cream. So maybe we'll make it darker. Why not? You know? So but if I make it darker, I might want a little bit more saturation. We'll go with that. This is good enough. All right. Like I'm not trying to fucking go crazy with this. Um you got to change the bucket tool, right? So Control B. You also, if you're as crazy as I am and have decided to start shooting black and white film, you need to make sure that you change your image property mode to RGB. Um, and then also I'm being silly and thinking that copying the number is enough to change the color. So now we should have blue, right? Or green, whatever, the ice cream. and then we have our image. You want to change the blend mode so that you can see the color. And so like now we have this ice cream color applied to our image. And LCH color just works in my opinion. Like I like it. I don't like fucking HSL. This shit looks fucking nasty. I feel like LCH color doesn't cause things to get overexposed, so that's why I prefer that. And then like there are other options. I mean, like hard light and soft light work fairly well. I like those two. And then like burn works fairly well. Linear burn, not so much in my opinion. I mean, there's also like darken only. You just gotta go through these things, right? I mean, all of these apps that I'm going to be showing you today, like they all have fairly good documentation. So it's really just a matter of kind of going through it and trying it yourself, right? So we're gonna stick with this color for this, and then we need to come up with a color for this other fucking one, right? So like I'm gonna show this again. And then like the cool thing about Adobe Color, right? You come here, you copy this, you go over to your main color, you paste in there, you paste it in there. Oh my fucking god. Hopefully this works. Okay, you paste it in there, and then you can choose the color harmony. So like I don't even know if it's worth explaining this. I think you just gotta click through it and fucking see what you like. Like, I just click through it and see what I like. I don't. There's not much of a science to it. This color is kind of cool. We'll go with that, right? So it's copied. I'm actually going to just close Firefox because it's probably ruining the overhead that I have. And then like we want to change the color before we bucket tool. So come in here, paste this, hit OK or hit enter. And so now we have this, and then I can change this to like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't have to be LCH color. Maybe we can, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Huh. Why is this? All right, to fix this, I am just going to add another layer. And I think I'm going to make it white. I'm going to put it under here. And now that's like not fucking, oh my god. All right. Well, I don't know how I fucked that up, but I did. Oh, you know what? We saved it. All right, never mind. We're good. So now this is like the other color, right? And so I don't know. I like the way that these two kind of play with each other. So let's export these. Control Shift E, and then like I'm gonna go to pictures, and then this one. No, not this one. Am I? No, I didn't create a folder yet today. Okay, so 527 525. We're gonna pretend like that says 25. So I'm gonna put these in like a TBE folder. That usually means that like these are things that are going to be used. And I'll just call this like ice cream JPEG. And then you can fucking decide how you want to do these settings. You can just use default. The only thing I have changed really is the subsampling. So, you know, read the documentation and learn what subsampling is. And then I'll export this one with the right hotkey. And then I don't know, we'll call this, it's not really bronze. It's kind of just like oxidized. I don't even know. It's just not green, you know? We're just gonna call it not green. And we're gonna be waiting here for a while because this laptop is fucking at its limit right now, probably. I wonder, we are in performance mode. I will be getting a new PC soon, so like making these videos won't be as tedious as it is right now with a 8th gen i7 and 1050. I'm probably gonna get like an Intel Extreme something, like just whatever the flagship thing is right now, because I don't really need a graphics card. I just need like a really good processor. So now we have these two images, and we're gonna go into Kdenlive. And I don't even know if I'm gonna explain this much because like video editing is it's not self-explanatory, but like I don't want to sit here and like tell you how to video edit it. I'm just gonna show you the tool and how I use it, and then like maybe that'll help you use it. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit for this to open. We're already at fucking 35 minutes. This wasn't supposed to be a 30-minute video. It's supposed to be like 10 to 20 maybe. Whatever. It is what it is, I guess. Just gotta wait for this shit to pull up. So this is Caden Live. And like we're just gonna I'm gonna go through this kind of quickly because I want to wrap up this video. Gotta go grab our photos, so like not green and ice cream. And then we want to cancel this because like I'm not interested in having it change to that video resolution. What we're going to do is we're going to go to project settings, and then at the bottom, if you go to custom, there's a couple vertical ones already pre-baked, and like I'm just going to choose the 60 FPS one, the 24 one I added, I believe. And then like we can save this, so like we can go back to this folder. I consider this like a photo project because these are photos and I'm making a video of them. So like for me it still fits in. I don't know, I'm fucking weird. So we're gonna call this draft, I guess, whatever. It doesn't really matter what the name is of this because I'm probably not gonna use it. I mean, maybe I'll post it just so that people can see it, I guess. But like we can take these images now, and I believe they're 1080p height. So like I'm not gonna go crazy right now with editing them, but we're gonna use the not green one as the base, and we're just gonna make this like, I don't know, fucking. I think 15 seconds is long enough, or maybe 20. We're just gonna go with 15 because now I'm thinking about it too hard. And then we can grab this and then put this in here. And so like the last reel that I made, I was trying to get it to sync up with the BPM of the song, but like that one didn't fucking exist in Instagram. Like the original version of that song doesn't exist in Instagram. So I'm gonna see, what is this? This is Rocky Road Part 2. I occasionally just listen to songs on repeat, right? So I guess like the way that I edit videos is very fucking weird. I can't imagine that many other people do this, right? But like I'm gonna first of all change this to like 270p because you don't need to see what you're fucking doing. Like it really doesn't matter. I could double click this and then it'll open up on my other monitor. And so like if I wanted to see it one by one, then I would like just do it frame by frame for that. But I don't know. When I'm editing, I don't really fucking care what it looks like in the preview. I pretty much just edit, export it, check the export, and then go from there. So let me open up Firefox again so I can show you this tempo pad thing. It would be cool if I had one in real life, but I'm broke shit, so we're gonna use a website. And we're gonna wait for Firefox. We are waiting. We are still waiting. I really hope this is actually launching. Oh. Okay, here we go. So BPM. Wow, this is fucking ruining my system. Holy shit. You know what? We will, unless, is this working now? BPM, find, okay, there we go. Okay, so like you can use any website, just don't fucking click on the ads or download anything. But yeah, so like if I press any key, why is this so, oh, I think I know. There we go. So this is it essentially, right? Like you can play the song. So like I'm gonna rewind this a little bit. And then like I'm sure that music people are going to be like fucking scoffing at me right now, but like this is how I find the BPM for the songs that I use. I just play the song and then I tap it out because easier to do this for me than it is to like actually find a fucking number. So like gonna assume that it's 125, I guess. But again, I'm no music person. I don't know how this shit fucking works. I just tap it out and then I'm like, okay, 125, we'll go with that, right? So BPM is 125. We're gonna use that, and then like I'm gonna just use the calculator on my phone so we don't have to wait 30 seconds for it to open on this. But like obviously that's beats per minute, and we're gonna be editing in terms of seconds. So like I want to figure out like how many seconds each beat is, right? So I mean, pretty fucking pretty simple, right? This is like middle school shit. So 60 divided by 125.48 of a second is how long each beat is. So the difficult thing about this, right, is that like your BPM might not always line up with the frame rate that you're editing at. So like sometimes it is worth it to change your frame rate so that it matches your like timing for the song. If it's 120, then we wouldn't have any issues because like 120 matches with 60 FPS or 120 matches with like 30 FPS fairly easily. But because it's 125, it's like fuck, now I can't use 60. And really the only option would be like it would be using 25 FPS I think would work, right? Um and then 5 FPS would work, and that's probably it for like the lower full integer frame rates. Um, so yeah, not that useful. But we'll just go forward with this, right? So we want this clip to last, let's say one second, maybe just 2 seconds. If we're this is 60 FPS, right? So each frame is like 16 milliseconds. Is it 16 or is it? See, now I'm like fucking second guessing myself. It is 16. It's 16.66 milliseconds. So I'm going to open up my history. We want the clip to last 1.92 seconds. So we're going to want it to last like basically 1 second and 59 frames. And that's how this time format works. It's like, I don't know if this is days. Wait, I'm fucking retarded. Hours, minutes, seconds, and then frames. So the way that most editors work are in the time scale of frames, because like if you use a time scale of like milliseconds, it makes the editing harder in my opinion, because like instead of sticking to like a grid pattern of like this video is going to play this frame at this time, you are now being arbitrary with like the timing and like the position of frames. So this might not make sense to you right now, but like I think that as you do more video editing, this will make a lot of fucking sense. So we're gonna go with that, and then we'll just like fucking do a triangle ramp, I think, right? So let's grab the effects tab, and then we'll do, is it opacity or is it fucking I think it's transparency. You can tell how fucking used to this software that I am, right? Like, so add a keyframe at the end, make sure it's linear, go back to our first keyframe, make the transparency 0. Now we're seeing that. That's interesting. Now we're seeing the base layer, and then we're going to the green. And then like you can grab this, and then you can copy it, and you can paste it, and then we should be able to, I guess maybe not. We can just do it this way. I mean, I was thinking I could just flip the clip around, but I don't think that the speed function works like that. Okay, so now like if we play this out, it's gonna ramp up to the ice cream layer, and then it's gonna go back to that. And like this is a hard transition, like where the acceleration of this slope is like not changing. Like this isn't exponential, it's just linear, right? So when we go from the top, like between these two slopes, or once we hit the top between these two slopes, it's going to be a hard change in acceleration. It's going to be instantaneous. Versus like if I used a smooth, um, if I use a smooth fucking keyframe, then like it would try to make it so that like when you're going from the bottom to the top and then back to the bottom, it's going to smoothen things out so that the acceleration isn't so like sudden. If you know 3D printers and you know how to tune like PID settings on 3D printers and play around with the firmware and whatever, you'll know a little bit more what I'm talking about. It's probably not going to make any sense to people that just like edit a little bit more casually maybe, or just don't really want to know every single fucking detail about their editor. And I don't think that you should know every single detail about your editor. It's a huge waste of time if your goal is to just make content. Like this is not the what I'm showing you guys is not the fucking guide to Instagram. This is a guide to open source software because like I feel like there's no content out there for open source software, at least not like what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to put some effort into fucking doing that so that hopefully other people like me can watch a video on what they're trying to figure out. Um, so yeah, we have that now. We can copy both of these. So I'm holding shift to select multiple at once, and then like you want to do this and then like just paste it out a few times, and then maybe we can just increase. That's why like at the beginning I was like, oh, what time am I going to use for like the base layer? But like just don't fucking worry about it. Just drag it over to whatever matches, right? So now we play this and it goes from like our ice cream layer to our not green layer. And so this should be in time with the music. So like if I play the music now, um, I'm not sure if I'll be able to like get it to be perfect, but I mean, I probably wouldn't use this like interval, or maybe I don't know. I would just have to think about it a little bit harder. I don't make visualizers, so it's not something that I'm familiar with. I've seen a lot of visualizers, and that's why I want to make them because some of them are fucking cool. But yeah, I'm not like good at it yet. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, now what we can do, right? I can fucking export it, control. I just did the same keybind for GIMP, and like if you're getting into this and like you're really into like photo editing and whatnot, I highly recommend that you change your keybinds so that like between the pieces of software that you use, like exporting is the same keybind. So like with this, it's Control Enter by default. Um, and like I make it work, but like if I was going to be like optimized about my workflow, I'd want to change all the keybinds so that like the things that are shared between the different softwares are also shared in my mind, and I'm not spending extra time thinking like, oh, it's not fucking Control Shift E, it's Control Enter. So we're in here now. There are a lot of presets. I just go for like fucking general, like generic presets. If I'm trying to edit like something a little bit more classy, then I'll do lossless HQ for the clips. Like before, like I'll color grade the clips individually and then put them all in a folder and then start editing the video so that like with my setup, it's just not powerful enough to like put a bunch of fucking effects on a single project. So like I need to do it in like chunks instead. So I'll take the clips, I'll like adjust them so that they look the way I want, and then I'll export them in lossless quality, and then I will take those lossless quality clips, put them back into the editor, edit out that video, like make the cuts that I want, put in the transitions that I want, the text, whatever, and then pull it back out, but instead in generic format, so like MP4 or like to post on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. There's no audio, so no need for an audio track on this, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna explain the rest of this because we're already at fucking 50 minutes. Hopefully, this doesn't go over an hour. Like, Jesus Christ. Um, I'll just render it out and then we'll take a look at it here in a moment. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. I mean, this is what I use. There isn't much else. It's really just the Adobe Colors website and then these three pieces of software. Like, I could explain how I shoot film, but like that's a whole different video. I mean, my workflow is so fucking bloated and overcomplicated that like between me taking a photo and me actually seeing an edited image, it could literally be anywhere from like 48 hours to like several months because like sometimes like this roll right here, this roll right here has been shot. I don't even know when I shot it, but like this has been in my room for at least a month and like I haven't gotten it developed even, let alone like scanned and all that, right? So like that's just how it is. I mean, other people are probably more organized than me, but like I'm pretty fucking stupid. So like I'm pretty sure this has important photos on it. I wanted to do it with my own development kit, but I'm lazy. So that's that, right? We finished the export there. I'm gonna go to videos, draft 6000. Let's make sure this is the right video. But oh, it's gonna. Oh wait, actually, I can close this now. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't need to have this open for no reason. I probably just opened the video multiple times too. All right. Okay, so yeah, and like it's probably not gonna play the way it should be playing. But yeah, that gives you an idea, right? I mean, I could. Let me open up Firefox again. Actually, there's no reason really. I could show you like how I post. I end up posting things like photos and then like these kinds of experimental videos. I will put them up with the website version of Instagram and then I'll go over to my phone and like go to edit and then add music to it and like slip the track until it lines up with the music because like I could download the songs or like I could have a CD and like rip the MP3 and then add it to my project file, but like honestly for me it's just easier to like fucking um just export the video without audio and then do the audio stuff on the phone because like with audio stuff like I'm not being super precise. I'm not like touching a bunch of sliders, entering digits. I'm just slipping the track. Like that's all it is just slipping the track so that it matches up and like it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be close enough. Especially when like if you're using Bluetooth speakers, like it fucking desyncs the audio anyways. So it's like what's the point, right? But um I feel like that's pretty much it. Um hopefully that gave you an idea of like my process and how I do things. And I just kind of want to make this video for people that don't want to spend like, you know, hundreds to thousands of dollars on this hobby because like this fucking I can't use that one as an example, but like the camera that I use is not expensive, man. I'm gonna go grab one of these bodies that I have. And like this one's broken, so like we can't really say that this is a good example of what you should buy. But like this is a Nikon F4, and I probably just knocked my camera a little bit. I'm gonna hope that things are still visible. This is a Nikon F4. The camera that I shoot with is a Nikon F5. So this is the revision before the F5. And I would have used this camera, but it came broken. So like if I take off this thing and we look at the mount and like I try to put this lens on it, this is like a 51.8, I believe. No, 1.4 actually. So if I try to put this on, we will see that it just doesn't fucking work. Like it's just crunchy as shit. Like I cannot mount this to the body because the mount has been dropped, or this camera has been dropped with like a telephoto on it. If you really pay attention here, I mean, I'm probably not going to be able to show you because the focus isn't on auto right now, but like there is a gap in between the mount and the body on this side. And then if you go over to the other side, there is no gap. So like this whole mount is like tweaked to the left of the body. Like the lens is coming off like an angle like this. Not sure if that shows up in the video well. But like I got this camera, didn't end up working, so like I sat on film for like a couple years after that, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this again. I bought an Nikon F5, and then I still didn't fucking use it for like a year, and then eventually I just got tired of my A7 III because like I wasn't enjoying photography anymore, and I was like, something needs to change. So instead of just quitting the hobby altogether, I decided to switch it up, and like now, I mean, yeah, I'm able to enjoy again because it's different. Like the workflow, it probably seems tedious. I probably seem like a very like spiteful person when I talk about scanning and all that. But like, I don't know. I think that I much prefer what I do now versus what I did in the past because I'm actually able to like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just I feel like it's a more creative process now. I spent a lot of time with digital photography, and I spent a lot of time taking thousands of photos and like going through them, being like, man, these are all shit. So like, I would rather not think that anymore, and like, I don't think that anymore. So I think it worked. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's up to you. This body was like 200. The FTN that's sitting like over here that has my microphone attached. I don't want to touch it because like it's gonna blow up your eardrums. That camera was like around 50 bucks, maybe less than 50 bucks. And then like these lenses, man, these Nikon F-mount lenses, and I think this is AIS, if I remember correctly. There's several different styles of lenses in F-mount as far as like the manual lenses go. And like AIS is what you want to be getting ideally, but like realistically it doesn't fucking matter. Like this is a Vivitar, and like I've shot with this and it produces like great results. It has sort of like a macro mode. Um and you can use that, right? And then I mean like I have another, I think it's probably in my backpack, but like I have another macro lens. This is a 70 to 200. The other one that I have is like what is it, like 30 to 105 or something. So like I don't know, man. I mean, you can get some of these lenses for like 50 fucking bucks. Like these ones, I mean, this one's probably worth like maybe 30. It's not in perfect condition. There's a little bit of play. I don't know. I don't think you can hear that well. Oh yeah, right, because I have noise suppression on. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. I've taken photos with these. They work just fine. And then like obviously you can get like really nice telephotos, and like the really nice telephotos are only going to cost you like 50 bucks. And like nobody wants this shit because nobody wants to shoot on a manual lens anymore, I guess. And I feel like people should take advantage of that. Like if you can't afford a $12,000 Leica setup, like maybe don't spend 5,000 on Sony. Maybe just get like maybe just go bottom of the barrel and like just do what you want to do instead of like catering to clients, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's pretty much rant over. I believe that, photography should be seen as art, and I feel like not many people see it as art. And like I look at the digital art space and I don't know, there's a lot less shallow people in digital art than there are in like real estate photography or like specifically car photography, specifically car culture in general. I feel like there's a lot of shallow people in car culture, and I just got tired of that. So like I do street photography because like I don't have to deal with those kinds of people. Like instead of dealing with like car people, I'm like just running around taking photos of like random shit or like random people. I end up having conversations with like I'll be on the green line and like I'll meet a director, and then like this director I'll go have coffee with like a couple weeks later. Like I have his contact, and like when I do a video project, like I'm probably gonna ask him for advice. And like I would never be doing these things if I was just focused on going to fucking events. You know what I mean? Like you I don't know about you guys, but I don't see much value in the connections I make at events. Like I I meet some other cool photographers, yes, but like if you're trying to meet people in the industry, if you're trying to meet like connections that could get you like into a job, you're going to be much better off just running around aimlessly and like seeing who you run into versus going to these car events where like there are people there that are from the industry. Like I'm sure that there are people like directors and whatnot that go to these car events, but they're not going to the car event to fucking talk about work. They're going to the car event to like enjoy themselves, right? So I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but like there's a lot of different ways to go about this kind of thing. And you don't have to go about it the same way that I do. I'm just trying to share my experience, and then hopefully other people can kind of pull from that and make their own conclusions. So, all right, I think rant is actually over. Enjoy, I guess.